A beautiful souls, Victoria Amador here from Soul Healing Tribe, and today I want to talk to you about the 5 different phases of traditional Chinese medicine. So the 5 elements and how they work with the different chakras for balance and kundalini. So I am doing this mostly for those that are in the DRT program, but I'm going to put it out there for those that may benefit from this. So this is based on medical acupuncture research that was done on the geometry of emotions to use chakra acupuncture and the 5-phase theory to describe the different personality types, archetypes for clinical use. A lot of work that went into this specific research that shows the different combinations of how the different chakras control or nurture each other to obtain balance. So that's what I'm going to go over today. And the phases and the key emotional attributes that they consider, like fear, anger, joy, negative thoughts, grief, and so on, were attributed to the different vertices of the pentagon. So once you see this image, pay attention to the way that the arrows move or the way that the chakras connect in order for you to understand how they come together to balance or control each other for the purpose of balancing and obtaining maximum health. On the basis of the 5 different natural elements based on Chinese medicine is water, wood, earth, fire, and metal. And it's a little different than the Western, the way that we see the elements. So water, wood, fire, earth, and metal. And each element is associated with specific emotions, colors, seasons, flavors, senses, and so on, even external influences like the season, obviously, like is it cold, is it winter, is it windy, is it a little damp, is it dry. So these elements interact with each other in a way that they can influence each other so that the chakra system, based on the different 7 chakras, are coming together, connecting or controlling, balancing each other, depending what is happening with that specific chakra. And this chakra, obviously, just like here, because the chakra system is like, every human has a chakra, right? Like it's part of who we are. So this energy, these vortices of energy that are rotating, if they're overly rotating, that's not good. If they're under functioning, that is not good either. So it has to have some balance. And the idea is that each is going to be connected to different aspects of our lives and linked to different phases, different elements, the different elements, like I mentioned, but also the different connection within them can, if another aspect that is not connected to that specific chakra is out of balance, it's going to influence, it's going to nurture or disturb the chakra that is associated with that other area. So it's a very interconnected approach, and obviously the meridians are key for us to understand this. And 7,200 meridians, I think, is what we have in our bodies. Don't quote me on that, but let's just confirm that. So you might want to Google that. So I think it's 7,200 meridians connecting through our body, all of them in a specific way, going through different chakras. And as we go higher in our body, we have more smaller energy centers, chakras, that may interfere the flow of energy in a specific way, so that it may make it difficult for the energy to go all the way up and come back and flow again. So it really is a very fascinating chakra system that we have, that once we start going deeper, it's just marvelous. So each chakra, let's, for the sake of this, consider the 7 chakras of the human body, basically the auric field. We know that we have the root, the sacral, the solars, the heart, the throat, third eye, crown, but there are other chakras as well that, like I said, the minor chakras that we don't really normally know about, the spleen, the back of the neck chakra, the nervous, vagus nerve chakra, there's the hand chakras, the feet chakra, the knee chakra. There's so many, the forearm, the arms, I mean, too many chakras. I don't even know all of them, to be honest. So definitely something that I have to study even more. But when I found this research, I really wanted to share with everybody because I think everybody should know this. So this is what I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you one of the graphs from the research. And if you want to learn more, you can go through to my blog post where I have more information on this so that you can see how powerful this can be once you start paying attention. Anyway, so the chakras in this specific report is telling us that the Shen and the Ko energy, the Shen is the nurturing energy when one element nurtures another, and the Ko phase where the different elements destruct each other, just like in the Lo Shu numerology. So the Shen and the Ko. So the phase and the key of the different attributes that you see here in this chart, in this diagram, are associated with the different vertices of the pentagon. So each phase was aligned with specific colors, seasons, flavors, senses, external influences like the wind, the heat, the dryness, if it's a cold, and so on, and the meridians, of course. So the meridians were organized further into recognizable biocycle, and this is a concept that was termed by Holmes. So each of the 7 chakras originates from different acupoints of the physical body, and the chakras are connected, are almost like cone shape, and they are very complex, and the energy levels of the chakras increases at each ascending level. So this is very key because the complexity is going to increase depending on how high is that energy center, because the higher it is, the more, just like the brain that has like trillions, billions, trillions of cells. So they're more and more and more tiny chakras as the chakras go up to the crown. Each of the 7 chakra is going to be regulated, controlled, nurtured in a specific way depending on the energy flow. We have the same concept here. The energy flow, depending on the meridian, is going to tell the chakra whether it is okay to move, not to move, at what speed, and so on. Each auric layer is an electromagnetic layer, and depending on the electricity of that energy that is flowing from one area to the other, it's going to move slow, too fast, or imbalance. And when it's imbalanced, the energy can flow to the next level. Eventually, when we get it to the crown, we have those moments, those aha moments, and then the energy continues to flow. We get ahas, we heal, we feel better, and so on. So all of those notes, all of those, the way that the energy is moving in a very sacred geometry type of way with the Shen and the Ko cycles are going to regulate and tell what chakra needs to move in what way depending on what's happening to the other. When the element nurtures and gives birth or nourishes the next element, it looks like this. Wood goes to fire, fire goes to earth, earth supports metal, metal supports water, and water supports wood. Now, this relationship, for example, is like the wood feeds the fire. So wood fueling a fire, right? So wood nurtures fire. Fire creates earth from the ashes. So ashes from fire become earth. And the earth produces metals. The metals are mined from the earth, and the metal carries water. So think of water in metal pipes, for example. And water nourishes wood. So plants need water to grow. So those are the ways that the different Shen phases can be observed. And the Ko cycle describes how the 5 different elements, so wood, fire, earth, metal, and water, controls or constrict each other, destruct each other. So wood is destructive to earth. Earth is destructive to water. Water is destructive to fire, and fire is destructive to metal. And then you go back to wood again. So each element is controlling or restraining the next element in this pattern. So wood controls earth because the tree roots can break up the soil. Earth controls water because the soil can dam or absorb water. And water controls fire because water can extinguish fire. Fires control metal because fire can melt the metal. And the metal controls wood because the metal can destroy cut down the wood. So some of these things, even for my brain, is like, how does what? Because some of it makes sense when we break it down like that. But when you look at how wood can hurt earth, and you look at the other things that we cannot have without earth, but in this way, it's just the element earth, not like the whole planet earth. Okay, so maybe that's going to help us stay within line here. So the cycle of the co-cycle, KO, is going to destroy, disturb, disrupt the next element in this cycle. So in this way, it maintains balance amongst the different elements. So it basically prevents one element from becoming too strong than the other, and so on. And the Shen cycle represents nurturing relationship, so that the Ko cycle represents the controlling relationship, but they both work together to make sure that balance can be maintained, because otherwise things will get out of hand. So when you see this, okay, let's see. So when you see this diagram here, what you're seeing is how one element, for example, the water here, is connected to wood and connected to metal, right? But it has an interesting relationship because it can control, it can restrict the way that the heart and the crown, the vortices of the chakra moves. So what we see here with these arrows here is that this energy of the root chakra, that, you know, for simplicity's sake, I always think of like, let's fold it in half. But when we go deeper into this, is what we're saying is, if your root chakra is blocked, is definitely going to have consequences for the crown and the heart chakra. And therefore, the crown and the heart chakra are going to send information to the throat chakra that something is wrong as well. It's not going to let the energy flow. And the throat chakra is going to, let's take a step back. So the root is going to control the heart and the crown, both fire. It sends information to the throat chakra, and the throat chakra sends information to the third eye chakra saying something is wrong. So you can see how the root being blocked controls or will restrict the movement of energy going to the heart and the crown, as well as the throat and the third eye. So this is fascinating, because what we're saying is, well, what this research is saying is that when this is normally when we are in the womb, by the way, up to like 6 months of being alive. Most of the traumas that we experience with the root are going to come from us being inside our mother's belly, in between the spirit realm, and then anchoring ourselves in the mother's belly. So if you had a hard relationship with your mother inside your mother's belly and you haven't worked on that, your root chakra is most probably blocked, unless you have done a lot of healing work, because this is probably one of the hardest one to really heal, because a lot of the wounds are things that are not from what we remember, and we don't know to go into a transpersonal healing session, to go into a wound regression, or to do breath work to address those traumas there. And this chakra can take months or even years to heal, because a lot of stuff happened inside your mother's belly that you picked up, the fears, the traumas, the doubts that your mother had when she was pregnant with you. You basically absorb that because you are inside her auric field. This is not part of the research. This is just me talking about this chakra, by the way. So this has to do with fears, doubts, insecurities, anxiety, not able to ground yourself, not able to materialize and have the financial abundance, safety that you want. So there is a lot of fears here. Am I safe to be here? Am I safe? Do I belong here? Like, do I have a sense of being okay where I am at any given point, like feeling supported, feeling connected with my family or friends in a way that I know that I'm okay. So people that deal with a lot of heaviness, depression, hopelessness, helplessness may very well be here. And this also gives us the different areas that are affected by this chakra being blocked. So here we have the bladder and the kidney, but this one's also control, and this is another video that I'm going to do. It's a different research and contemplation that I've been doing, because this one heavily controls the, oh my God, what do you call that? The thalamus. Well, let me clear that up. It's not that it controls, but it influences the heart and the crown, which influences the third eye, which influences the thalamus. So fascinating stuff, because when we understand the connection between this chakra and the thalamus, it's going to blow you away. So I'm going to leave that for another video. So moving on. So when we have, for example, the third eye controlling the sacral and solar plexus, this is powerful, because with the third eye, when it's blocked, the brow chakra, this means that we are not logical, that we are delusional sometimes, that we have fears of being tricked. Maybe it's hard for us to sometimes think logically, rationally. We might be just basically irrational. Even making decisions can be hard. You might depend on others to make big decisions for you, or get angry when they don't. So this chakra, the fact that this chakra could be blocked and that you have challenges with it, is going to leave you feeling angry, feeling like life is not fair. You might have a lot of imagination, but you might not be able to make it happen, because the left side of the brain is basically off balance. And when that one is off balance, it's going to send the wrong signals to the sacral and the solar plexus, which in turn send information to the root about what's going on, which sends information to the heart and the crown and back to the throat. Also, the third eye here, the brown chakra, is said to nurture the heart and the face, right? The crown face, the vortices here, the chakra. Obviously, it's going to nurture if it's in alignment, but if it's not in alignment, the information that it's going to send is going to tell this something that is not true. So the chakras are just very fascinating. If we really start paying attention, let me just show you this graph here too. This is another one. And this one gives us again, the Shen, the Ko, and some of the things, if it's in alignment. So for example, the root being balanced, well, let's start with the unbalance. If it's not balanced, you're going to have fears. You're going to feel like you're going to have fears, phobias. You're going to feel like you never have enough. So you might be overly saving things, or like when somebody becomes a compulsive buyer or something like that, and they're always putting stuff in storage or having too much of something. Just notice, how are you perhaps being in scarcity mindset when this chakra, or even in general, is going to have fears, doubts, confusion, anxiety, and so on. But when it's in balance, you're going to be able to feel part of a tribe. You're going to be able to feel part of something bigger than you. You're going to be able to materialize and manifest what you want in life. You're going to be able to have willpower. This is heavily connected to the crown and the heart, which sends information to the throat, which sends information to the root. This is why this is so important for willpower. I'm going to leave it here for now. If you like this, please like, share, and subscribe. Go to soulhealingtribe.com to check out the full blog post to learn more about this amazing research that was done on the geometry of emotions by Dr. Chase.